Hey there and good afternoon traders. This is Trader Tim from over at eminimine.com doing a trade recap for the 30th of July 2020. Important to note today that we did not take out the swing low of the 24th. And we can go over to the SPX as well. You can see even the gap down this morning, we didn't break lows of yesterday. So when we did trade lower throughout the day, kind of watching for that intraday reversal or that V reversal, especially as we come down close to this swing low. If we go to the 5-minute chart, you can kind of see a double bottom. It wasn't a true double bottom, meaning the lows didn't touch exactly. And but close is close enough. And when it comes to trading off of the 5-minute chart, today we had one entry at right about the top of the hour, 35 minutes or so after the bell, short, and that one got a little bit of momentum, but wasn't able to roll over and break lows. And then when that one failed and broke the 61.8, the long setup, when you get a low as we have here, where we've got kind of a little bit of a higher low, if you want to use that higher low, it's okay to draw your anchor point. In this case, both would have gotten fills, but sometimes if you use the absolute low, it doesn't. And I notice more, especially on the ES, that higher low, as long as we take out the swing high, then becomes the anchor point that's used. So this 32.0550 traded nicely up to a 32.19 and beyond. So remember, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. If you're going to take the setups right on the 5-minute chart, like if you're going to put a limit order here at, let's say, 32.06, just giving it a little bit of wiggle room, and then putting your stop below the 61.8 and setting your target a point in front of the negative 23, you have to take all the setups for the morning, which means in order to catch this 12-point move, you have to be willing to get stopped out for 4 points over here. So net you're up 8 points, and that's great. But if you pick and choose, you can end up missing the winning setups and end up taking the losing setups. And since there's only at most 4 setups is typically what I would end up taking on a 5-minute chart in the first 2 hours of the day, there's really not that many to have to pick and choose from. So if you take advantage of the fact that there's not a lot of setups on a 5-minute chart, you don't have to be subjective in picking and choosing. Now when it comes to the 512, you have a lot more opportunity to stay out of some of the losing trades just by allowing the 15-minute or the 5-minute in this case set up to trade. So we can see here we come up all the way up to an 875 and then sell off. Here's a swing low here. In order to get into the short, you need to draw it up like so, and with the 2-point stop on the 512 tick chart, you're going to be just fine as far as this trading up a little bit beyond the 61.8 by a tick or so. And then once you break down lows, you can just trail the next 61.8, and then this next one went beyond the negative 61.8, so you can draw up an extension short and really bring your stop down there. So a little bit reduced risk on the 512, but so the advantage there, the 512, a little bit reduced risk. You see that confirmation, and then you can get into the trade. If you're executing right off the 5-minute, your risk is a little bit higher, but your reward is also a little bit higher, and you don't have to worry about picking and choosing. Now, depending on where you put your entry on this short, you may or may not have gotten filled, and actually may have missed out on the short and only come away with the 12-point long that second trade. But regardless, you're going to have to acquire or go through some losers in order to get to the winners. Let's see. We didn't really have any low ticks at lows this morning that lined up, so there wasn't really a great counter trend move there. The VIX also retracted, so we had an inverted hammer, and notice how it didn't break its swing high, just in line with the S&P not breaking its swing low. So all in all, pretty bullish sentiment at the close of today. And typically after the Fed meeting announcement, you get a lot of good trading. So most of you know I don't trade in the morning of the Fed announcement. And typically the Tuesday before that is also a little bit blah. But then Thursday and then going into the next couple of weeks, we should have some really great trading opportunities. If we break today's high, I'd be watching for some swing trading stocks to set up. I haven't gone through my watch list yet today, but I'm going to do that right after the video. And so potential for some longs. If we draw up, we've got the large retracement that we talked about in Monday's video. We double bottomed, and its target is still above us, 33.43. And then we pulled back here to the 50%. Notice again, look at how this swing high is just a little above this prior one. If you used the low here, we're quite a ways away. If you use this low, we get much closer. And we can even draw another one like this. You can see another double bottom here. All of these 50% that are smaller within this larger retracement are all pointing to this 33.40 area. So that's what I'll be watching for in the next week or so. If we break today's high tomorrow, we do have potential for a strong rip here in the next day or two, because we kind of have a down trend line. And if we can break above that, which would essentially be a break above today's high, then we could really take off and break out. So all in all, things have not really changed as far as my outlook or the technical setups. We have not broken a swing low. That's really what I'm looking for a change in trend. So let's say tomorrow we sell off and we break not only today's low, but this swing low back here. Then I would, the next stop would be the 61.8, and then you could draw up a short in some form or fashion, either from the high to lows or from the lower high to whatever those lows are, and then see if there's any resistance there, and then you can zoom into a smaller time frame to take your trade. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. Next week, Tuesday, as we always do, live trading session. You can check that out over at eminimind.com/VIP. Thanks, and have a great weekend.